Shut up and refill more popcorn. Shut up and refill more popcorn.
Waka waka guys, what is up? Welcome back to another extra butter feed. This episode is going to be called Popcorn Tins. And what is that going to be? Well, a lot of movies I love and I reminisce watching and enjoying. Some of them aren't sequels and some of them aren't bad. So how would I go about making an episode talking about them? Well, started thinking about names and stuff like that and why I didn't think of it before. But a tin of popcorn, if you ever around the Christmas season get those big ass, tubs of caramel corn, butter and cheese or whatever, they're called tins, Tins. What does that sound like? Sounds like the number 10, fucking 10. So I decided, like I said, a lot of movies that I enjoy that aren't part of a franchise. Some of them aren't franchises, some are sequels, some of them aren't bad, this or whatever. So I just want to talk about them. So why not call it Popcorn Tins? So the premiere, episode of Popcorn Tins will be on The Replacements. The movie with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman came out, I want to say it came out in 2000. Let me make sure. Let me cover my bases and not say something. I want to say 99, but I doubt it was 99 because, The Matrix. I want to say it was 2000. So, yep, came out in 2000. It's a sports comedy directed by Howard Duth. Stars Keanu Reeves, Gene Hackman, Brooke Langton, Riz Inflin, I forget the British guy, John Favreau, and Jack Warden, who played the owner. The movie is, from what I'm looking up the Wikipedia, the movie's loosely based on the '87 NFL strike, specifically the Washington Redskins, who won all 3 replacement games without any of their regular players and went on to win the Super Bowl 22. I didn't know that. Though the film is a story for the replacement players, the Falco Martell quarterback controversy is quite familiar to the one in the post-strike Washington controversy between Doug Williams and Jay Schroeder. So that tells you a lot about me not knowing. Well, first of all, I don't like the Redskins, so or the Washington football team. So that's cool to know that it was actually based on a real, and I was born in '87, so how the fuck would I know that? But the story is this. There once was a time all about how, let me minimize that. Keanu Reeves is on a boat. He was a quarterback of a college team that lost the Sugar Bowl very, very bad. And people remember a lot of the characters, and I'm trying to shoot from the hip. At the same time, I'm trying not to use the Wikipedia as a reference, but let's just go with I love this fucking movie. It's so funny. It's a lot of the music. I found myself realizing, shit, that's where I first heard it from. I watched it when it came out on the movie channel and HBO and all that shit. When I was living with my brother back, when was it? Before 2010, all we had to watch were VHS tapes, and one of them was The Replacements. And so I watched that constantly. So funny. The characters, we have Faison Love, who was in Friday, and I remember seeing him first in what was The Parenthood? I think that was an old WB TV show with Robert Townsend. I think it was called The Parenthood, and he played the friend neighbor. We also see the British guy who would go on to be the Lizard in Amazing Spider-Man. A bunch of other. He was in Little Nicky. He played the brother. We see. I want to say Faison's Love's character's brother was the guy from Life. Why don't you go eat your cornbread? That guy who ends up beating the fuck out of Eddie Murphy in the yard. Gene Hackman's in it, of course. He plays the coach who's recruited by the owner to basically get him to the playoffs. You know, we're in this little shitty situation. And so Gene Hackman's character, Coach McGinty, says, "Oh, I want full control of my team. I get to pick who I want. You don't have no involvement, no interference, nothing. Sure, go for it." So he starts recruiting all these players. He recruits Orlando Jones. Now, Orlando Jones is a funny ass motherfucker. This is before I even knew that he was on Mad TV in the first seasons. I just remember him from this movie. I remember him from Evolution. He did a movie with Eddie Griffith. I forget the name of it, Double Take or something like that, or maybe that's something else. But he's so funny, and in this movie, he plays a wide receiver, fastest motherfucker, but he can't catch. And then we see that a scene where the coach puts like glue on his hands and like, man, look like I jacked off an elephant. We see John Favreau, who plays a cop, this crazy SWAT team, just crazy motherfucker. We also see, I don't know who plays him, but there's a character who's being released from prison to play. And the actor himself, I believe he was on The Shield. He played the gay patrol cop, but he also played Michael Jordan in like a TV movie. I do not know his name. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Of course, I hate having, like I said, go referring back to the Wikipedia. Orlando Jones plays Clifford Franklin. Michael Earl Wilkinson. Yeah, Earl. His name is Michael Jace. That's right. I know he played Michael Jordan in like a TV movie. I know this, man. Doesn't say it though. But I know it was a TV movie. Anyways, Michael Jace, he was on The Shield. He plays Earl Wilkinson. Man, you'd have gone all the way if you didn't beat up them cops. John Madden and his partner, I'm gonna catch Pat Summerall. They are the voices of NFL game calling legends, and they appear in this film. So many incidents. I mean, another funny incident is that they're using replacement players, but they also have to find new cheerleaders because they have that whole scene where Annabelle, played by Brooke Langton, is basically having auditions, and we have that whole funny montage of just these goofy people dancing and doing cheers, and so I always wondered why the fuck is she having auditions? Like, shouldn't they already have a team? Like, did the cheerleaders strike too? Like, what the fuck? So anyways, what is going on here? Why I got notifications? Anyways, so like I said, I love this fucking movie. We see so Keanu Reeves gets recruited as these ragtag bunches. Their first game is a loser because they had a bunch of issues. The Jumbo throws up in the huddle, causing Clifford to fucking throw up. So they kind of shimmy. They lose 10 yards because they are delaying a game, and It's just all this craziness. They come back for the second game. They win. Um, I want to say, who is the preacher? Ordained minister Walter Cochran, Walter Cochran. He's his character is the preacher. We see him coming off the bus with the Bible. We see him in the kitchen scene where where the the sumo wrestlers fighting with Faison Love, and then uh um there's oh man, who's the deaf guy? The deaf guy played, it's, I don't even know. He comes out on Out Cold, comes on a bunch of other stuff, but he's the deaf uh receiver or something. And that scene where he's talking to the coach and he's like, what the fuck is going on? So he walks away and like, okay. Then there's bar at the scene where the cheerleader's like, I love this. She starts doing this, and he's like, hell yeah, what's up, girl? uh Fucking drawing a blank, man, because there's parts of these movies that I loved, I just want to talk about, and it's like other parts that I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, so the Faison John Farrell guy, he's a DC policeman, and his character's named Bateman. And during practice, for the first practice, he fucking pummels through Keanu Reeves' character. He pummels through Falco, and the coach is like, "Remember, Danny, we don't tackle the guys in the red shirts." So, oh, okay, sorry, coach. I see red, and I just want to go like a bull. I'm crazy. The second time happens, and Falco's like, "Remember, red means stop." He's like, "Oh, like a traffic light. Cool. You need some help?" Like, no, I'm gonna lay here for a little bit, figure some shit out, huh? So he goes. Um, oh man, it's a fun movie. Even if you're not a football, if you're like, I don't watch football, you can still watch it and enjoy it. It's so fucking funny. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, Keanu's done some comedies, uh, but around this time he was more of an action guy. You know, had Matrix, Speed, not John Wick. Um, but dude, it's a very fun fucking movie. I love seeing some of the actors. I love the kitchen scene. Um, the ending is kind of like uh, we see the quarterback, the professional, cross the picket line. So Falco is basically fired because I mean, hey, you did your job. He's coming back. Okay, cool. Uh, we all know he's a fucking asshole. The quarterback, the main quarterback. I don't even know who the fuck he is. Martell, played by Brett Cullen. Uh, they're fucking with Falco when he comes to practice. They tip his car over twice, but the second time he's got the Jackson brothers got his back, and they shoot up Martell's I think it's a Porsche, and the Martell doesn't say son of a bitch. Someone else says son of a bitch, and Faison Love is like, son of a bitch. I'm a son of a bitch. Walks off a little to the side. Pop, pop. They shoot the windshield, and he shoots the fucking the driver's side window. And then Martell's like, "Oh, come on, guys, flip it over, flip back over." He's like, "Yeah, quit messing with our quarterback. It includes his ride." And they walk him off. They walk into the stadium, and by this time, everybody's kind of knowing each other, and they're like, "Okay, cool. We're not gonna fuck up this time. You know, we can. You know, they're becoming a team. You know." And it was pretty cool to see that. And then they have that scene where they talk about their fears, and then everybody goes off and be like, "Oh, I'm afraid of spiders," and oh man, they crawl up on you and shit. And it's like, no, he's talking about like game fears. And Falco talks about quicksand, and he explains himself, and then everybody kind of opens up to the realization, like, you know, we're living in the moment right now, but I mean, let's be real. At the end of this, I'm going back to the mini mart, and then I'm going back to the shipping yards, and I'm going back to jail. And so they come to that realization. So um at the end, when you think about it, they had that camaraderie. You know, they're dancing, and they had that bar fight at the end of the first game, and then they get arrested, and they're doing that fucking the dance and shit in the jail cell. And that's when you start to see them coming together. And then at the end, especially when Falco says that he won't be there to play, he has that awkward laugh. It's like, and when you're getting your ass is kicked by Dallas, Just kidding. That part is so fucking. It's not cringy, but it's fucking like really like, just kidding. Um, and at the end, of course, they have that game. Niles has that incident where he's like, I I bet it all on this and I lost. I owe these people a lot of money. Niles owes motherfuckers money. That dude kicked a 60 something yard field goal. Like, what? You think about that's crazy. And so he admits to Falco that he wagered. He didn't. He owes these people money. He doesn't have it. So Falco basically injures him so he can be wielded off or something like that. To I don't know. They're still gonna find the motherfucker. So um, and then like I keep saying to the end, but like obviously at the end they have that last dance, and it's like they realize, you know, we get that monologue from Gene Hackman, and it's like he's basically, people not they left the locker room with, they didn't have no endorsement deals or anything out. They might have, they probably wanted to be interviewed, but you realize like they probably weren't, and they had this moment in time, and it's gonna be with them forever. And I just learned that it's based on the truth. I'd like to, I'm gonna go down the YouTube hole and see if I can see some interviews and this and that and brush up on everything. But so yeah, that's gonna be it for the premiere of Popcorn Tins. Talk about some of the movies I love. I remember gonna try and think of other stuff. We saw this past weekend, and I was just like, man, I want to talk about this movie, but it's not a franchise. It's not a someone's worst film. It's not a sequel or anything. It's just I want to talk about it. And so that I came with this idea to do Popcorn Tins. So I'm gonna juggle with how I'm gonna do it. Maybe have a picture of an actual tin and put TEN or the number 10. But it's a 10 in my book. You know what I'm saying? I love this movie. I have history watching it, and I've already talked about Batman and the Ninja Turtles, and that's part of Bizarro, and that's an actual franchise. So I think I'm going to be talking about movies that are just single, either one, one and done kind of deals, or movies with no sequels that I love, that I enjoy watching. So off the top of my head, I might get into the Rambo movies. What's my favorite Rambo movie? That is a franchise, but I think I've already said I probably won't. I like all the Rambo movies, so there's really not one that I feel needs to be is a stinker. Or I mean, maybe there is. I have to just research, but I feel like there's that one. Like, and of course the Bad Boys franchise. I mean, maybe with all the crap going on with Will Smith, but those are franchises. Those are sequels. So off the top of my head, I really can't think of another movie. Or Life. I like Life. Life was funny, so that's probably another one. Um, what's a single movie? The Green Mile. I like The Green Mile. Um, so yeah, there's movies out there that are on my mind. If I actually stop and think and make a list. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. And I did a Facebook Live for recording for episode 68. A lot of shit. It's crazy. It's weird to go live. I like doing this recording. I usually have on my machine to record, and it's all audio, but I'm using Zoom. I'm recording off of Zoom. So Zoom does that whole, if you record, it'll give you the file and everything. So yeah, so that's going to be it for the first Popcorn 10. I want to thank y'all for checking it out. Please like, subscribe, the Extra Butter feed. It's all going to be random entertainment stuff. It's not the typical gimmick of the worst movie sequel. So go around, check it out. There's a bunch of other, Extra Butters. You got What's Poppin', Popcorn and Chill, Poppin' My Movie Cherry, Popcorn Tins, Bizarro, Shut Up and Refill My Popcorn. So there's stuff for everybody. Trailer Haters. I think about it now, I should do a Trailer Haters on the new Thor teaser that came out yesterday. So I'm gonna jump on that right now. And with that being said, I'm gonna Nanu, nanu. Peace.